Election Day is 1 week away, and there's a big question that people all across Western New York are going to answer. Should we or should we not have a constitutional convention?
Well, we are taking some time tonight to help you make that decision because it's an important question that New Yorkers so rarely get to decide on here, and an awful lot of people wonder, why is this even on the ballot?
That's where our Michael Wooten starts things off tonight.
The big question, why is this question on the ballot? Simple, the current Constitution requires it. Every 20 years, New York State voters must decide whether or not to have a constitutional convention in an automatic referendum. On Election Day, on the back of your ballot, you'll vote either yes or no, and majority rules. If it passes, it's on to step 2. In next year's general election, November 2018, voters would select their delegates to the convention. Almost anybody could run to be one of those delegates. There will be 204 total, 3 from each of the 63 senatorial districts and 15 at-large delegates selected statewide. Those 204 people would start meeting for the convention on April 2nd, 2019. They would debate for months and come up with proposals to change the state constitution. Each of those proposals would be on the general election ballot on November 5th, 2019, so voters would again have the ultimate say on whether or not to approve or reject each of the proposed amendments.
And we really can't stress this enough. Don't forget to turn over your ballot. You'll actually see 3 questions on the back. 2 of them are constitutional amendments that came from the state legislature that you'll get to vote on. But it's that first question right here, proposal number 1, that deals with the Constitutional Convention. And we continue our special coverage now with Channel 2's Steve Brown, and who are on the 2 sides of this pretty heated debate.
Albany. Is it time to turn it upside down? Depends on who you ask.
You don't hear a whole lot of folks walking down the street saying, boy, state government's working just great.
You're absolutely right. But it's all about the people you put in.
And the head of Buffalo's branch of the NAACP would much rather work with the state's elected officials than face unknowns and the expense of a constitutional convention.
Is this a budgeted item when we're lacking money in health care, lacking money in our school systems? It's not a budgeted item. So where's this money coming from?
And frankly, could make things in New York worse, not better, because the same special interests that are controlling Albany right now would be at the trough during the convention.
The loudest voice against a constitutional convention, or CONCON for short, is New Yorkers Against Corruption. Maybe you've seen their TV ad, which says a CONCON is
like the bar in Star Wars. Corrupt politicians there to grab more power and more of our money. New York City's special interest there to grab even more of our region's tax dollars.
Who's paying for these ads? Almost exclusively labor unions. These are the top contributors to New Yorkers Against Corruption. Most of it came in the last month. A big worry for unions, what might happen to state pensions if a CONCON were convened? Those pro-CONCON say there's nothing to worry about.
They can't take away your pension. They cannot do that. It's written in stone. It's a contract.
The contract clause of the United States Constitution protects your pension from being taken away, no matter what happens at the convention.
And as this web ad points out, a number of newspaper editorial boards think a constitutional convention is a good idea.
Now, if you're keeping score at home, Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown is against a state constitutional convention. And while last year Governor Cuomo's position was a CONCON was an opportunity for lasting reform, he's put none of his considerable influence and power to work trying to pass the referendum. Steve Brown, Channel 2 News.
Steve, thank you. And we brought in some people from both sides of the debate to debate the issue. You're going to see them make their cases tonight on Channel 2 News at 11. And you can take a closer look at all of our Constitutional Convention coverage on WGRZ.com and on our 2 on Your Side app to help you make your decision on Election Day. Remember to turn over the ballot. More of Channel 2 News at 5:30 is coming up.